Good morning, everyone. In this video, we will talk about another circuit that is used to convert AC into DC, which is called the single phase half wave controlled rectifiers with an R load. So the difference between this circuit and the previous one is that this one is controlled, the previous one is uncontrolled rectifier. So starting with the first circuit, which is R load or a pure resistive load. So what's the difference between this circuit and the previous one? No difference except one thing, which is the presence of the switch. And this switch is not diode, but this time is a thyristor. So we have the same circuit, the supply, then we have the switch, which was diode in the previous lessons, and we have the load, which is a pure resistive load. Now we have our thyristor with a gate control signal. We are going to give it current in order to turn it on. Okay. Now before we continue this lesson, I would like to mention something which is important. Remember these samples, this one and this one. Okay. So this is something which is not related to the course at all, but it is related to the pronunciation of these symbols, okay? These Greek symbols. So we'll find that this one like this, and this one like this. So in the British accent or in the British pronunciation, this one is pronounced as theta, and this one is pronounced as peta. Okay, this Greek letter previously it's called in the Greek alphabet it's called vita. When we pronounce it in the British accent, it will be beta. So sometimes you will see theta and beta. In the American accent, these two symbols are pronounced as theta and beta. Theta and beta. So if you hear theta or theta, beta or beta, you now understand these are the two symbols, okay? Because they have different pronunciation in American and British accents, okay? This is what I would like to say, okay? So anyway, let's get back to our circuit here. So we have here our supply, the same AC source, and we have this simple. So what's the difference? The difference is that this is a way to control the half-wave rectifier circuit. Is that this circuit or this switch will not convert AC into DC unless we give it a signal. So we use a thyristor instead of a diode, and there must be two conditions that must be met or fulfilled before the thyristor can conduct or provide electrical power. Number one, the thyristor must be forward biased, similar to the diode. V, the voltage across it, must be greater than 0, similar to the diode. And the second condition, which is that the current or the gate current must be supplied, or the current must be applied to the gate of the thyristor so that this thyristor will be switched on. So during the positive half cycle here, the first condition will be fulfilled, right? The voltage across the thyristor during the positive half will be positive. Okay, so the thyristor is a forward biased. However, without gate signal, without giving any gate signal or gate current, this thyristor will be still turned off. So the second condition, which is providing current using the gate control circuit, it will give us gate current that will turn on this thyristor. So the thyristor will not begin to conduct as source becomes positive, because we need the second condition, which is the current applied to the gate of the thyristor. So the conduction is delayed until a gate current is applied to the thyristor. Once the thyristor is conducting, we can remove the gate current signal. So we can just give only this gate current is just a pulse, giving it just a pulse. Okay, by giving the pulse, it will be switched on and become a short circuit. and it will remain on even after removing this gate current, okay, until the current goes to 0. So let's see what will happen here. So the gate current applied here is represented by a certain angle, or it is provided at a certain angle. So as you can see here, this gate control signal is provided at alpha. So alpha here, this is representing the angle at which we are going to provide the gate current. So alpha is called the delay angle. So as you can see here, this is representing the input supply, right? Okay, so this is the output. So when the voltage is positive and we don't have any gate signal, the output will be 0, right? It will be 0 like this. Okay, why? Because in this period we didn't give any kind of signal or any gate pulse to the thyristor. So this thyristor is off until we give the angle alpha, or the pulse at angle alpha. So at the instant alpha, omega t equal to alpha, which is a certain angle that I choose, by giving this pulse to the thyristor at alpha, this thyristor will start switching on and become a short circuit. So the V output will be equal to V supply. So alpha when we give a pulse, it will be switched on and the V output will start becoming equal to V supply. This is the V supply signal, and this one, which is a sickle line, this one is representing the output signal. Okay, so V output will be equal to V input after applying the alpha or the gate signal. Okay, before it, the V out is equal to 0. Then when we reach pi, after pi, the voltage will become negative. So the first condition, which is thyristor must be forward bias or the voltage across it greater than 0. When we go to the negative part, the voltage will be negative, so this thyristor will be off again. So thyristor will become an open circuit similar to the diode, and V out will be equal to 0. So as you can see here, starting from pi, it will be equal to 0 like this, and even if we have a positive signal, we will still be 0 until the firing angle alpha is called the delay angle or firing angle alpha plus 2 pi. So the alpha is provided every 2 pi. Okay, so the first one at alpha and second one is at alpha plus 2 pi. Okay, so this is the output signal. Now if you compare this to the diode, so the diode is, you can think of the diode as alpha equal to 0. Okay, if the thyristor angle is alpha equal to 0, what does this mean? It means that it will start conducting starting from here. So V output will be like this, similar to what? Similar to the diode. So we say that if the firing angle is equal to 0 or delay angle is equal to 0, then the diode or the thyristor will become a diode. Okay, now another thing, if you apply alpha equal to pi, it means that V output will be always equal to 0. So if you make the firing angle at this instant, which is pi, okay, after giving the firing angle, the voltage will be negative, so nothing will happen. So the V output, if alpha is equal to pi, V output will be always 0. Okay, at pi, because after it, the voltage become negative, so it is a reverse biased. So V output, so this switch will be always turned off. When alpha equal to 0, it will become a diode. Okay, so the difference, as you can see here, between the diode and thyristor is that we just delayed, that's why it's called the delay angle, delayed the turning on of the switch. So instead of starting from 0, we have more control on the circuit. We start from here or whatever. What is the benefit of this? This will help us control also the V average. We can control the average output voltage, the average current, the power, and so on by controlling the firing angle. Now if you look at the thyristor here, as you can see, this circuit V supply from KVL equal to voltage across the thyristor plus voltage across the resistance. So when the thyristor is off, then V out is equal to 0 when the thyristor is off, and V supply, all of the voltage of the supply will go across the thyristor. That's why during this period you will see that V across the thyristor, it will become equal to the supply, and when the V out equal to supply, V thyristor is equal to 0. Okay, and here V0 then equal to V supply, and so on. So if you look at these two signals for V out and voltage across the thyristor, their summation at any instant will be equal to V supply. Okay. Now in order to understand the conduction, as you can see, this square or this rectangle representing a pulse. Okay, so here we are providing at alpha equal to 0, we give a pulse for a very short time, and then it goes down to 0. So we give a current in the form of a pulse like this, a small pulse. Starting at 0, you can see it's static induction, all of the positive cycle, then 0, then conduction, then 0. This is similar to what? When alpha equal to 0, similar to the diode. Here another alpha at theta 2. Here we give a pulse like this, and you can see goes from 0 like this and 0 like this. So these signals, the difference, the angle between them, the time between them, or the angle between them is 2 pi. So this one, for example, this one is alpha, this one is alpha plus 2 pi, this one is alpha plus 4 pi, and so on. Here at another angle theta 3. So as you can see, as the firing angle alpha increase, the V output will start decreasing. As you can see here, firing angle equal to 0, lots of voltage. Theta 2, when alpha increased, you can see voltage here is smaller than here. And theta 3, you can see very small part. So by controlling alpha, we can control the output voltage. Okay, so let's understand the equations of this circuit. So as you can see, if the gate signal applied at omega t equal alpha, the angle alpha, we call it the firing angle or the delay angle. Now if we would like to get the average voltage or average current or RMS values and power, this is very easy. All you have to do is similar to what we did in the uncontrolled rectifiers, which is integration. So VDC or the voltage, average voltage, will be equal to 1 over T, the whole period, which is 2 pi, 1 over 2 pi, integration from 0 to 2 pi, right? This is the integration of the average. However, if you look at here, you can see that our voltage does not exist except from alpha to pi. This part is 0. This part is equal to 0 from here to here. This one is 0. This one is 2 pi, right? So this is a complete cycle from here to here, okay? From here to this part. So you can see that the output, V out, exists only in this part, okay? That's why the integration is from alpha to pi. So you can see integration from alpha to pi. For what? For the signal V max sine omega t d omega t. So if you integrate this, you will get V max over 2 pi 1 plus cosine alpha. So as you can see, by controlling alpha, when alpha becomes 0, this part will become cosine 0, which is 1. So 1 plus 1 will give us 2. Now let's say alpha equal to pi. It will be 1 plus cosine pi, and cosine pi is negative 1, so it will give us 0. So the output will be equal to, or the average voltage will be equal to 0 when alpha is equal to pi. Similar to what we said, if alpha is here it will not turn on at any instant. It will be turned off all the time. Okay. Now this is for the average voltage, and since we have only a resistance, the current will be the same. It will be voltage divided by a resistance. I average V average over R, as you can see. Now what about RMS? You will have to do the root 1 over 2 pi. You can see VRMS root mean 1 over 2 pi integration from 0 to 2 pi for the V out square, which is V max sine omega t all square. Now as you can see here, this is the integration. Integration will be also from alpha to pi, here from here to here. Why? Because everything else is equal to 0. So as you can see here, from alpha to pi. For the function square, it will give us, as you can see, this equation. Okay. Now what about IRMS, the root mean square current? It will be the VRMS divided by R, like this. So this is the equation here. It will be like this. So IRMS will be VRMS over R. So it will give us this equation. Now finally the power consumed inside the resistance. Here I'm talking about power in general, the AC power, not just the average power. I'm talking about the real consumed power, all of the power consumed. So it will be the root mean square current. It will be IRMS square multiplied by the resistance, or VRMS square divided by R, as we learned it before. So it will be VRMS square over R, or IRMS square multiplied by R. Now another thing here which you can see, just let's first delete all of this. You have to understand that when I was in college like you, or when I was a student learning all of this, during exams what I have done is that I do this integrations. Okay, I don't memorize any of these functions. Okay, I don't memorize all of this. I just go inside the exam and start doing all of the integrations because it's much easier. Okay, so there were some people who memorized these equations, but I don't advise this. My recommendation is that you in any kind of circuit, because there are lots of circuits regarding the rectifiers, in any circuit you have just to do the integrations in exam. 1 over 2 pi integration V max from the output signal, as you have seen and you learn it from here, in both of the average voltage, RMS voltage, current, and so on. Okay.